and welcome to My Xbox and Me, episode 341. I am one of your hosts, MC Fixer, alongside the one and only Too Fresh Crash. Crash, how are you?
I'm doing good.
Oh, it's just a shake of the head. Disapproval. How dare you, sir? Come on.
You said you were gonna trick me.
No, I said, yeah, I will trick you. I will trick you at some point.
Okay.
At some point, I will trick you 100%. Okay. That's going to happen. It's going to happen. It's not an if, but, or maybe. It's going to happen. And the one and only Matt P. Video. Matt, how are you?
I'm good, man. I'm good. I did one module of radio production whilst I was in university, and if I had done that intro, I would have failed that module.
I mean,
that amount of dead air. Come on now. Come on now. People checking their phones like, is the podcast broke? What's going on? What's going on right now?
That's kind of the point, though. Kind of the point.
I thought fucking with Crash was the point. No?
I mean, and the audience. And the audience is a part of it. It's definitely a part of it. It's all so little. It's the charm. See, this is what your teachers didn't understand. They didn't have any charm in their podcasts and their radio presenting. Number one, Matt, remember, I never went to school for this shit. I just jumped on the microphone and an audience came. Never forget that, sir. Never forget that, yeah?
And you know a hell of a lot more about it than I do, so I'll shut my mouth.
I don't know about that. You know, I'm just sort of here. Boys, we've had some big news drop this week. Humongous news drop. We did our quick reaction video on it over on the My Xbox and Me YouTube channel. So if you want to see our initial thoughts on all things Bethesda being bought by Sony, you can go over there for initial thoughts. Oh, it's not Bethesda, you're right, it's Bungie. Bungie being bought by Sony. Wait.
Yeah, Bungie,
Bungie.
Bungie was bought by Sony.
Yeah, my bad.
It's been making this mistake before we started the podcast.
Do you know what it is? It's been a long week already, and it's only Tuesday.
It's Tuesday, mate. I was gonna say.
I had a root canal yesterday though, and then we did the live reaction, and then I've done a load of hours in RP, and I've got a load of stuff going on this week that I can't talk about yet, and I'm just like, oh god. But I'm happy to be here with you all, nonetheless. You know, Matt, how are you?
I'm good, man. Feeling really good. Like you say, it's a busy, crazy week. It is for me as well. Like obviously, we're not doing the same things, but it's a busy week, and I'm good. I'm back in the office. It's got my energy up a bit.
Do you like being back?
Times. I do.
Yeah,
I do. I think I am not the best and maybe you'll what's what empathize with this, Fix.
Yeah.
I'm not the best communicator when written.
Yes.
Partially because dyslexia.
Yeah.
And being afraid of big words.
Yes.
And so I often feel like I come off short.
Yeah.
And to be able to just shout across, well, not shout, but talk across a desk at somebody instead of emailing them, I find very helpful.
I agree with you on that one. I definitely agree on that one. Fresh, you're going to say something. Please feel free.
I was just going to make a joke about how Matt's still better at communicating over text than you.
Oh, yeah.
But it felt a little bit mean-hearted.
No. He is. But the difference is, I don't care. You know? This is the difference. You know what the problem, you know what the biggest problem about all of this is? Matt works for a conventional company where if he doesn't do his job properly and doesn't communicate properly, he gets fired. Or some sort of repercussion for poor communication. There will be Matt, you're not communicating properly. Matt, you're doing your job wrong. Matt, Crash. Look around this room. Look around my bedroom.
Yeah.
It's just me. No one can sack me.
That's very true.
Currently, no one can. The only person who can sack me is the audience.
And Haley.
I was going to say, and Haley has a go at you for not doing Instagram enough. But, you know.
Yeah, of course.
Same thing.
Oh, I got it this week, actually. It was, you realise we haven't uploaded since New Year's Day from January 1st. How am I meant to build an Instagram if you're not? And I was like, do you know what, Haley? I'm going to need you to relax. All right? I'm going to need you to chill out for a little. All right? Crash, how are you?
I'm doing good. You know what this month is?
I don't know.
Elden Ring month.
It is Elden Ring month.
Oh my god.
It is.
I'm so excited.
I'm not ready for that because I'm playing another game that I'm like overwhelmed with, and I'm like, I can't bring another game into my life at this moment in time. So no. Remember, if you want the show early, head over to patreon.com/mcfixer. Remember to support us on all podcast services. If you can, rate us, review us, like, comment, share, subscribe, whatever it may be. Please go and do the thing on said platform in which you enjoy listening to the podcast on. If you have any suggestions, any comments, any concerns, anything like that, we would like to hear them. I want you all to know that. We would love to hear what you have to say about the show. Do you think we need to do news? Do you want to get rid of the news? Do you think we go too long at the intro? Are you annoyed at the pregnant pauses? Those are staying, so we don't care. But your feedback does matter to us. So please, 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 please do reach out and please do let us know what you think of the show, because it means a lot to us, all right? So please do that. We have got one review, Crash, over in the UK. I don't know if you've got anything. Actually, I think I've got two. Actually. And it goes a little something like this. This one was in December 29th. Dropping a 5-star review after listening to the Christmas episode. I really liked, which seemed like a genuine chemistry between Fix, Crash, and Matt. Been listening on and off since Fix's appearance on Unlocked, but this podcast has made it into my weekly routine, as there is real passion for gaming and being a geek sometimes. Keep up the good work. Nothing better. That Christmas episode was a banger as well. And we were worried about that episode. We were worried that we were like, was we too much of us in that episode?
Exactly. There's no news. There's no it's just us bullshitting about Christmas memories or gaming memories in general.
Yeah.
And so that's lovely little review.
So
Thank you very much.
That one was from Indie. I think it's FLIK. Flick.
Sure.
FLYK, we'll go with that. We got one more here which says great podcast. This one was January 3rd from Alex123 Barbary Coast. I hope I said that correctly. Big fan of the podcast. Great to catch up with the guys' views every week. Thank you very, very much. Both 5-star reviews. Both star. You got anything, Crash, over there in America? We got any new ones?
Nothing in America. Americans, you guys are letting me down. No
Come on, America.
Damn, America. How dare you guys? How dare you? We appreciate your reviews, so please do keep them coming in. Shout out to our Patreon producers this month, as per usual. The one and only Aaron Guard. Thank you for keeping the show on the road. And, of course, FNH Paul. Topic of the show this week was pretty obvious what we're going to be talking about now that we've let it sort of sit with us for around 24 hours, maybe just under. PlayStation have bought Bungie. It is in a deal worth $3.6 billion. That is billion with a B. After we spoke about it yesterday, I went away. I thought. And I have got a hot take.
Oh, here we go.
Bungie's not worth 3.6 billion. I don't care what anybody says. I am of the mind that Bungie's not worth that money.
In what sense?
I was thinking about it, and I was looking at the other deals that Microsoft have done. And this isn't a Microsoft thing, by the way. This is just other businesses that have been gobbled up, other IP that has been gobbled up before. I just don't think that Bungie in its current state, in terms of the studio in which they are and the IP in which they hold, I can't talk about the technology side of things, which plays a huge role in this deal.
Yeah.
I can't talk about that, but just on the topic of IP and quality of a studio, I've got nothing against people at Bungie, but 3.6 billion I think is they overspent.
So I was curious about that as well, and I was looking at the revenue for Activision and the revenue that ZeniMax had made before they were acquired. Yeah. And the percentages based off what's paid and how much was made, I think Bungie revenue-wise made a little bit less, but it was pretty close in percentages if you scale it to what the others are.
Okay.
So I don't think it's that bad in terms of it. But if you just look at the portfolio of what they have, I do kind of agree with you, where it's just they're buying Bungie and Destiny, right?
Yeah.
Well, we kind of talked about this. Like. Yeah, we kind of talked about this in the sort of live reactions. If you want to live reactions, head over to the YouTube channel. And so I looked into it after as well, and you know, there's tweets and all this stuff going on. And I think in the last sort of 12 months, 18 months or so, Bungie have been gobbling up staff all over the place, and like hiring a lot. And one of the things they came out and said since the acquisition is this allows them to do that even more. And, rumors are they're working on a brand new IP over there, something new, something fresh, something different that's not Destiny. And I think as well, they talked about this being more than gaming, right? They want to turn Bungie into this entertainment powerhouse. Yeah. PlayStation are making a Last of Us TV show. A Destiny TV show seems to make sense, especially with the Halo TV show coming out. Like
even a movie.
Yeah, or a movie, or whatever it is they decide to do. I think Destiny in and of itself is a powerful IP. We were comparing it to Minecraft in our live reactions, and they paid a lot less for Minecraft a long time ago. And I think we agree that Minecraft is probably more of a powerful IP than Destiny. But they're somewhat comparable. And I think, a lot's happened in the past 3 or 4 weeks. Maybe 3.6 is a little much, but I mean, who knows what goes on behind closed doors? Do you know what I mean? Like, it's difficult to say.
Exactly. And I do know that they are working on a new IP, like you mentioned, and apparently they want to show it by 2024 and have it out by 2025. Something along those lines. So it's not super, super far out as far as that coming out, if everything stays on track for that.
Yeah. I saw a thing as well that I thought was really interesting. We were talking about the technology, and you don't know how much of that plays into this. And I can't remember where I saw this. I've been listening to so many podcasts and reading so many things about this over the past 24 hours or whatever. But somebody was saying that apparently Naughty Dog and Guerrilla Games and who made Ghost of Tsushima? Sucker Punch?
Sucker Punch.
Kind of all had a big meeting about how to make a horse work in a game, which I thought was like really interesting, right? And like bringing Destiny into that kind of world of saying, here's how to make a live service game. We have a hell of a lot of experience making live service games. We've stumbled just like everybody does with this, and hopefully now you won't do the same thing. You can learn from our mistakes, and if you're going to make a live service game at Guerrilla Games or wherever else, you kind of get that leg up, hopefully. And there's a lot of value in that kind of thing, especially with a live service game with microtransactions and all the rest of it. So many pitfalls.
An interview was done with Jim Ryan, the CEO over at PlayStation, all about everything that is going on by GameIndustry.biz. He's actually the Sony Interactive Entertainment CEO, not PlayStation, so apologies for that. And the quote says, "The first thing to say unequivocally is that Bungie will stay independent. Multi-platform, studio, and publisher." Pete Harrison's CEO and I have spoken about many things over the recent months, and this was one of the first and actually easiest and most straightforward conclusions we reached together. Everyone wants the extremely large Destiny 2 community, whatever platform they're on, to be able to continue to enjoy their Destiny 2 experience, and that approach will apply to the future Bungie releases. This is unequivocal. Nah, that's a huge statement, because the wording, like we said with Phil Spencer, yesterday's wording with the information that we had in our live reaction was different to what this wording was. We did have someone in our live chat actually say, they have said that it's going to be everywhere, blah, blah, blah. And we were like, well, we ain't seen it yet, so we can't say. I have now read it, and you cannot really use... look, okay. You can say whatever the hell you want and go back on it, but it's not smart business from PlayStation to use words like unequivocal.
Yeah.
That's the right word, thank you.
Yeah.
And then go back on that. Maybe in the next 10 years, let's say. Like that. People are going to remember that it's a telltale situation. That character's going to remember this for the next 10 years, right? They might forget in 10 years' time, but they're going to remember it for the next 10 years at least.
Fix will remember this. Yeah, absolutely. It's an interesting one, right? Because they keep saying multi-platform. They don't call out Xbox at all, right? And you could say God of War is a multi-platform game. Came to PC a year later.
It is multi-platform, 100%.
Yeah, at this point, yeah.
Yeah, 100%. And that's kind of what I'm saying is, let's say, for argument's sake, we know it's not going to be, but let's say that Bungie's next game is Destiny 3. Mm-hmm. Destiny 3 could be multi-platform, released first on PS5 for 18 months, 12 months. What was God of War? God of War's 2 years, isn't it? 2.5 years?
If not more, yeah.
and then come to PC and that be considered multi-platform. I think that's a bit disingenuous with how, like you say, unequivocal this statement is.
Yeah.
So it'll be interesting to see what happens. But like you say, it still could be any direction that this goes.
I feel like PlayStation have just woken up finally to cross-play and business when it comes to video games. I don't mean that in a rude way, because obviously they're making loads of money, like they're doing great business. But what I mean is, like, from the gamer's perspective, and maybe from the gamer's what's the word I'm looking for? For the gamers, I guess we'll just go with perspective, which is like, you don't have to exclude people to do good business. And this is something that Microsoft has known for many years now. And yeah, because they're in second place when it comes to the console life cycle, they had to kind of do this business, where Sony, I think, are going, oh yeah, we're in first place and we can do this business and make even more money. And I think they are. I think something's happening somewhere. I don't know if it's Google, I don't know if it's Luna, I don't know if it's, Amazon. I don't know, but something has got these companies worried. I don't know if it's Tencent. I don't know what it is. But to me, all of these dealings that are happening, all of these gigantic IPs and these gigantic companies getting gobbled up by even bigger companies, isn't just happening for no reason. And I've got a feeling something is coming from somewhere. I don't know what it is either. I don't think it's like a new game console or something, but something is happening.
Yeah, well, a few industry people have come out saying that these aren't even the end of it,
No.
as far as like studio acquisitions, and they're very vague on like if it's Microsoft and Sony. It could be Tencent buying more people, it could be Google buying companies, it could be Facebook, it could be all sorts of things. So this absolutely could be
Meta. Yeah,
it could be Meta buying something. My bad.
No problem.
I think I think the writing's on the wall as well. Like we've seen how the movie industry has gone. And people were saying, like, you're never going to get rid of DVDs. Like, the internet's never going to be good enough to stream 4K video.
Reactions.
It is.
Live reactions.
And so people out there saying it's never going to be good enough to stream video games, you're wrong. Like, we will get there, and we will get there sooner than you think. And I think Microsoft, Google, Amazon, they're the big players because they've got the infrastructure in that space, and Sony just aren't there. Maybe Sony can get there to start competing. And I think something like a Destiny property helps, because if Sony are going to launch this, Spartacus, whatever it is they're calling it, their version of Game Pass, and it's just full of single-player titles that you could binge through in a weekend, I think you do need something like a Destiny there to, like, tide people over in between those. We have no idea what that service is going to look like, and maybe it won't even be that, right? But I think the writing's on the wall. The game industry is going one way, and it's going service-based. And Sony are waking up to that, I think, and not to say that they haven't been already, like, planning for this. Like I say, people thinking this is a reaction to the Activision purchase don't understand how business works, right? These conversations have been going on for months and months and months. So it'll be fascinating to see how the next couple of years go.
Yeah, I think it was Jeff Grubb who also put out a tweet saying that a couple of months ago that Microsoft was in talks with Bungie as well.
Yeah, so I'm sure they were.
This very clearly is something that's been working out. Bungie's been looking to be bought up for whatever reason. Which even then there were rumors, I think like a year ago or something, about Bungie being bought as well. Yep. It's been a constant talk. So this really isn't surprising, and clearly is something that's been in the works for a while.
The next conversation I guess to have, which is again from a Jim Ryan quote, is obviously about what is next. We alluded to it. Jim Ryan coming out and saying, quote, "We should absolutely expect more. By no means are we done with PlayStation. We have a long way to go, and I will personally be spending a lot of time with Pete and the team at Bungie, helping to make sure that everything beds down right. Blah, 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 blah. But the important thing here is Sony are not done, and it's who is next. And I know it's a conversation starter, it's a boring one. This is something we've spoken about probably a few times now. But if you had to put your life on it, who would you go with? Sony buying next?
Square Enix.
Has to.
I think that's the easy answer.
As far as like, because they clearly go for people that they have some sort of relationship with, and I think out of all the studios that are there, they probably have the best of Square Enix.
Both companies have. Bethesda have always been very Xbox focused and friendly, and Sony have built a working relationship with Bungie, and Bungie had already left Xbox, so that weren't going to really be a thing. I never saw that really happening, playing that again. I think the only ones that have kind of come out of left field for me was like Double Fine coming to Xbox. I didn't, because I never associated like Tim Schafer and those guys over there as Xbox people. You saw a lot of like Grim Fandango and games like that all come to PlayStation first. So that was one of the few studios that I was like, oh, that was a weird one. Didn't expect that. But yeah, I think my fingers. I pray that it is. My fingers are crossed that it is Square, and Capcom can somehow stay independent. If I'm honest, because we all know how important Capcom are to me as a company when it comes to Resident Evil, and they've got some of the best IP, of my childhood actually. Like Devil May Cry was a big one when I was growing up. Onimusha, like there's a lot of IP there in Capcom that I think they wouldn't want to. I don't. Mega Man. Yeah. Yeah.
If this happens though to a Square, to a Capcom, and they get bought out in the same way that they bought out Bungie, and they come out and say everything's going to remain multi-platform and they're going to remain independent and yada yada yada, then do you care? Isn't that a best case scenario for a Capcom to have a secure?
I still care. But don't ask me why. I'm a very strange human being. No, I am though.
It's like, nostalgia, and
it's not just that though. It's you wouldn't catch me playing Minecraft Dungeons on PlayStation. I own everything, but for some weird reason, I have this. It's the weird brand loyalty thing where it's like, well, they own it, so I'm gonna buy it there. And I know that sounds stupid, but yeah, it probably would. It probably would influence where I play Resident Evil or Devil May Cry or whatever, because in my head, for some reason, it's going to go, oh, it must play better there because they own it. Even if they don't mean to do it like that, or even if they don't try to do it like that, I could see it still being a thing. Which, you know what I mean? Like, that probably sounds stupid, but yeah, it's kind of where my head goes.
I think it makes sense. I think the thing that would convince you perhaps more so is if PlayStation do come out with a Game Pass. And they do buy Capcom, and then they do say, well, Resident Evil is on our Spartacus, let's call it.
100%.
And then all of a sudden it's like, you're not buying it.
Yeah.
And so why would you buy it on Xbox? Quote unquote. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I agree. If I'd put my life on it, I'd put Square though. Final Fantasy 16 is already wrapped up. What's that other Final Fantasy game?
The Origin. So that's multi-platform though.
Is that multi-platform? I thought that was PlayStation. I know they've got the marketing for it then.
No, so all the so the rumor is that all mainline Final Fantasy games are going to be exclusive. So anything that's like a spin-off that doesn't start with Final Fantasy insert title, the rumor is that those are going to be exclusive. Those are going to be exclusive. Okay. Yeah.
I mean, at this point, it's just it makes sense, right? What we really losing out on? You're losing Tomb Raider. You're losing where's Tomb Raider after that last game now? Like that's in bed. That's gone to sleep for a little bit now.
Marvel's Avengers.
Yeah.
I'm
Sony not buy Square Enix now.
I don't know. Like I don't like. Yeah. Square. I think it's Square. Square is the safe bet.
Yeah.
I think.
Square makes the most sense. Capcom kind of makes sense as well, and as does Sega. But those three companies are the ones that like you look at and you're like, if somebody's going to be bought next and it's sort of like a noticeable buy, it's going to be one of those three, right?
If it's going to be $3 billion up, yeah.
Who are Xbox going to buy next? That's a better question. Like,
I think
they don't have I can't see who. I can't look into my crystal ball and go. Like, I think there's a lot of conversation going on about Remedy at the moment. Because Remedy were very much in bed with Xbox for the longest time, and then obviously, oh my god, what's the game called? The one I didn't play, the only Remedy game I've not played. Control came out, and that was very PlayStation focused. In terms of like it had that weird exclusivity thing, right, with the DLC, if I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, I think it was timed exclusive, wasn't it? The Alan Wake
something
DLC,
like that. Yeah. And it's like they've got, it's a weird one because they've got a bunch of investment from Tencent, just like Bungie had. And I'm like, oh, maybe that doesn't matter now because Bungie had a bunch of that. So I think Remedy's probably one of the ones on the card where I could see Microsoft having the conversation. Doesn't mean it actually happens. But
I'm sure they both have the conversation.
They need a Japanese studio, right? That's got to be the big next one, right? For Microsoft.
But that's the difficult buy, isn't it? Like we haven't seen really a big Japanese studio bought. No. And there are those conversations around like the culture and Microsoft walking in to try and buy Nintendo and getting laughed out the room. Like I don't know, it has that weird cultural hurdle to get over where it doesn't seem like they're as easily purchasable for whatever reason. I don't know.
So what American company do you think is available right now for Microsoft? Doesn't have to be to the scale of a Bungie or anything, but like, is there anybody that you would like to see them?
Where's Crystal Dynamics from?
That's Square.
I
think the only answer is Warner Brothers.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, Warner Brothers makes sense, but at that point, you are buying studios more so and less
not IP,
which works for them because they have a ton of IPs now with the Activision purchase. So like a purchase like that actually makes sense for them.
What about Hazelight? It Takes Two, A Way Out.
I thought about them. Because they're EA right now, right?
They're EA originals.
They're not EA. Well, not. It's not though, is it? It's EA original published. It's not owned by EA.
Yeah, they're not.
Yes. Yeah.
They seem like a group of people that just like their own independence, and the EA deal works for them.
I agree. It doesn't matter if they have their own IP or not, because every game of theirs is a different IP anyway, and that's fine. I don't think anybody's screaming for an It Takes Two. It Takes Two.
I just want a new game from them. I don't care.
100%.
Yeah.
But that, it came to Game Pass early. Didn't come to Game Pass day one, I don't think, but it came to Game Pass early.
Yeah.
There's obviously a relationship there. And I think Microsoft would take a punt on... yeah, I suppose.
Yeah. And EA does seem to have like a good relationship with Microsoft as far as Game Pass is concerned. So,
I mean...
It's just, they're a small studio. And if somebody offers you a wedge of cash as a small studio that's like, don't worry about payroll for the next 10 years, it's kind of difficult to say no. But you are right. Joseph Fares is like
if it was anybody else, I 100% on board with what you're saying.
Yeah.
But then if you look at the people, it's like, would they really?
Like Bill Gates,
we all know money talks.
Bill Gates calls him up and he's like, you can't say fuck the Oscars on the Game Awards again, okay? We can't let you do that anymore.
Like that he would be limited in like.
Yeah, I think
so. PR wise, yeah. It'd be a nightmare.
Yeah, maybe it's not worth it.
I don't think it's not.
It's not impossible.
Gonna happen, but no, it's a headache. It's definitely. So, yeah, I'm so interested because none of these companies are done, and I just don't know where that leaves us. Where does that leave us?
Also, we'll move on, but Hazelight would be a cheap ass purchase in the grand scheme of the past month and a half.
100%.
So yeah,
100%. Let's get into Fix the Sack, shall we? We got some questions this week. If you want to email in, myxboxandmepodcast@gmail.com, or you can head over to the Discord, which is in the YouTube comments below. It's it's MC Fix the Discord, but there's a My Xbox and Me chat in there. Good conversations happening there that you are more than welcome to join anytime you like. First question comes from Toplift91, who says, which of the Microsoft-owned games studios are you most anticipating? Which of the Microsoft-owned game studios games are you most anticipating? Okay. Fresh?
Fable.
I'd forgotten about Fable.
Answer, there's nothing else really that we've gotten confirmed is going to be coming out from the Microsoft studios.
Fable is just too ambiguous. We so don't know what that game is. Like,
That's
it's being made by the people who make Forza. Like, what the fuck is that game gonna be?
All that is so
too
exciting
far away to be exciting.
Because Fable could be a different experience that's really, really good, or it could be a very similar experience that's really, really good, or it could not work out. I don't think that it'll not work out, but that's always a possibility. I think as far as anticipation, like, I'm anticipated to see what they do with that and when that comes out.
This is a hard question for me.
Do you want me to go next?
Is. Yeah, go on.
I get. Is mine maybe a cheat answer? I was going to say Starfield.
That's 100%.
Yeah, that's not a cheat 100%.
Okay, good. Yeah, Starfield. I'm hyped. I fucking love Fallout and Skyrim. Give me more of that in my veins. I mean, Fallout 4 is probably the game that I've got on with least, and I never touched Fallout 76, 70. Yeah. What was that game called?
Yes. Played it.
Yeah, any good?
Nah.
Yeah. So, like, their actual like recent track record has me slightly worried. The fact that we've barely seen any Starfield has me slightly worried. Although it's not uncommon for them to not put out a massive amount of stuff before they release a game. Yeah. And so we'll see. But also it's this year, supposedly.
Yeah. No, I think
I'm excited.
I think it comes this year. I think it comes this year.
It comes this year, and they usually start showing gameplay about like 6 months-ish, if not a little less than that.
Yeah, they've done an E3 gameplay drop followed by a November release before, right? I think they did that with Fallout 4. Although I think they announced Fallout 4 that E3 and then dropped it the same year.
Yeah.
Mine's like a cheap answer. So it's not really a game that even exists yet, but I think it will exist. So can I say it?
Sure.
You can say it, but I might pull out another.
So I'm excited for whatever Tango GameWorks next game is. So not Ghostwire Tokyo, because I couldn't give two craps about that game. Yeah. Like, not that I couldn't give two craps. It isn't what I don't think it's what I want. I'm looking forward to playing it. Right. I'm looking forward to checking it out. I love Tango games. I love The Evil Within 1. I love The Evil Within 2. And I have a sneaky suspicion that Xbox, as long as they want to make more of it, Xbox will greenlight an Evil Within 3 now, because they've got the platform for it and it's first party. And like, when Xbox bought Bethesda, that's the only studio I got excited about. But everything else, I was just like, okay, yeah, Skyrim, great. Elder Scrolls, yeah, this, great, whatever. But then I thought, I was like, you don't get many, at the moment, we don't get many third-person action survival horror games. Like, we just don't get enough of them, in my opinion. Not on a AAA, AA scale, anyway. Because there's a lot of, on the PC space, there's a lot of ones that I've actually started playing that are not very good, unfortunately. But yeah, whatever Tango do next after Ghostwire, I'm uber excited for. And then if you want me to give an answer of a game that's actually come in,
I think that's a fair answer. No,
but like I say, if I had to say something that has actually been announced, I think probably Hellblade 2. Only because I've not played Hellblade 1 and I've heard such good things about that I'm excited to play the two of them very close to each other. So that's got me even more excited. Literally off of people's opinions already. It's not, I don't think I'm going to play the game and not enjoy it. So the new game looks very amazing, but we're very worried about in terms of like the cinematic of what is the actual game so far. Or at least I am, I'll speak for myself. But that is the game that has me excited the most to play on my Series X in 4K, blah, 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 you know?
Yep. That's fair. I would throw one more out there, kind of based off of what you said about Tango, and is whatever Blooper Team is working on next, which is heavily insinuated to be old Silent Hill. But we'll see if that actually happens. So yeah, we'll see. I enjoyed the medium, and like, give that team more resources.
They're not Xbox owned though, just so you're aware.
You're right. Never mind. I was thinking Medium came to Game Pass day one, and I forgot about the question. Apologies. I retract my answer.
You're fired. You're fired.
That's fair.
Fine.
That's fair.
Right
Yeah,
on the
buddy.
spot.
Next one comes from Top Left as well. It says IGN reported that the FTC are reviewing Microsoft's Activision acquisition. Do you guys see any reasons to why this deal wouldn't go through? No.
No, we talked about this in our live reaction. But...
Yeah, please go.
Well, only to say that we spoke about it in our live reaction about Sony buying up studios as well for billions, and all right, it's a hell of a lot less than the 68 billion that Microsoft's spending on Activision. But that kind of just strengthens the fact that Sony are number one in this space. Sony are still buying people too. This is not a monopoly for Microsoft to buy Activision. And if what we hear is true about more and more studios and publishers being bought up, then I don't think this will actually come to anything from the FTC.
Yeah. I think it's important to never say never. Like, there's always a possibility that
Sure.
it doesn't go through, but I don't think that's super likely, because this doesn't move them above the third spot position. They're still behind Sony. They're still behind Tencent in terms of revenue. So I think the deal will go through.
Next one comes from Alderslayer and says, will we ever get a new Xbox UI? Personally, I find the current one to be functional enough, but it's pretty boring and doesn't have that next-gen feel still. No?
I don't think so. Like, what my question when people say this is like, what is next-gen UI? It doesn't exist. Next-gen UI is not really a thing. Like, maybe you could want it to run more fluently, like better. And I feel like on the Series S and Series X, the UI does run a lot better nowadays.
Yes.
I don't think next gen UI is really a thing until you're starting to talk about like VR and a metaverse UI. Maybe in that case, like, yeah,
metaverse.
You got next gen
Someone
UI,
say metaverse.
I knew that against you.
That's what I was actually going to say. But bouncing off of that, Crash, is like, I think you'll get a new UI when the hardware changes significantly enough, and that could come potentially maybe if a TV app for Xbox comes and they need to change that in some major way. I don't know why they would necessarily. The Game Pass.
No, I get what you're saying.
It works.
Feels very Netflix anyway.
But Matt's
Game
right.
Game Pass UI and Xbox UI are two different things. The Game Pass UI is kind of atrocious, if we're going to be honest.
I'm
really?
not a fan of it. On the PC it's terrible. I don't think it's branded very well across console or PC.
Yeah.
I think it could do with a whole new revamp.
Yeah,
you know where it looks best, actually, which is wild, is on xCloud.
Really?
That is the best place to play Game Pass games in terms of its UI. I think
that is the best place to see the UI, but definitely not the best place to play
on Xbox.
No, but like if you like just look at it in terms of like it's very similar. Maybe it's just because it's mobile. Maybe it's just because it's on mobile.
I think it works on mobile. Yeah, I get what you're saying. I think it works on mobile. I don't think it works super like on console. It's not horrible, and even on PC, it's not horrible. It's manageable, right? Because there's stuff that's okay. Work, absolutely. Yeah, I mean, it could definitely be better.
That's what Alderslayer says. It says functional enough. It's fine. But then that's kind of what Microsoft is. It's functional. Like, I mean, the 360 was cool. The dashboard. Although I think people have fonder memories of that than perhaps it deserved.
I think people have fonder memories of UI always, and they hate new things. This happens every time.
PlayStation's Twitter is nice. I'm not listening to people.
No, that's
PlayStation's
ridiculous.
Awful.
Oh, you guys are crazy.
Awful.
You think the PS5 UI is good?
Yeah, I like the PS5 UI.
Wow.
So what do you think the Xbox UI?
I like the Xbox UI. I like the Xbox UI as well. I don't dislike any of the UIs.
Yeah.
I don't get lost in the UIs. I don't get confused by the UIs. Yeah. They work.
I agree.
You don't think the Switch UI is fucking garbage?
No, I think the Switch UI is perfect for what it is.
Yeah, it doesn't need to be more complicated than that.
No, I agree. It doesn't need to be more complicated.
I will say one thing about the Switch UI. Looking for games you've purchased digitally, and finding out how to install them is horrible.
That's ridiculous.
So I agree with you, Matt. Thinking about that, I agree with you. It is really, really bad. You actually have to go into the store, look up the game, re-download the game from there. It's a horrible experience.
I'm thinking more of the stores, to be honest with you, maybe, and maybe
that's not a UI. That's a store.
It's part of the UI.
No, that's an app within the UI.
Yeah, it's.
You get into the Xbox store, you click an app that takes you then to the store. That's not the UI. Then you have a different UI for the store.
With PlayStation, they made the UI part of the.
Yes, that is all part of it. Yeah,
got it. So with Xbox, it's not. Yeah. I guess like attaching the store UI directly to the main UI would be the next big thing. Like, ooh, I don't gotta launch an app.
Right? I'm not going crazy. I'm right.
I think there is.
No, you are right.
Turn on my Xbox and see.
You are right. I just wouldn't consider that.
Yeah. What? It's a separate. It's not the. It's an app within the UI, and the Xbox store has a UI of its own. But when you turn on the console, that's the UI, right? And it all blends into each other. But what we're talking about is that home page. You turn on the console, and that is what you see, and then you start clicking within, and boom.
I'm talking about the user experience whilst not playing a game on your console. I guess I'm looking at it much more holistically, and maybe that's where I'm falling down. Because I think
that's a fair argument.
No, I think. Well. Yeah, I think you're right. Yeah.
I don't think you're wrong, and I don't think Fix is wrong. I think it's just different perspectives.
Yeah,
I think you guys are both right. Fix is.
I don't think anybody cares.
More like direct interactive. That's true.
I think we spent too long on this conversation.
Yeah, me too,
next up, Thomas Mellish says, do you think Sony buying Bungie, but saying games will be multi-platform straight away, is an attempt to persuade Microsoft to allow COD games to continue to be multi-platform? No. I think this was a Bungie thing just as much as this was a Sony thing. I think this was a Bungie thing saying, hey, we'll do this, but like you're gonna have to change the way you do business a lot if you want this to work, because Destiny only lives with players, and we've worked our butts off to get crossplay and cross progression and cross everything, and we're not about to tell half our audience, or probably less than half, but a lot of our audience to go stick it. I think it was the deal was made on this conversation, not a reaction to what Microsoft are doing.
Yeah, I'm sure like it works out for Sony because now they do have something. Like worst case, even if they're not going to go into conversations with Microsoft about Call of Duty with this information, it does a lot for the public when they're like, all our future games that we just bought Bungie, all the future games from them are going to be multi-plat, and then you see Microsoft like, oh, all of Activision games are going to be exclusive. It creates a dynamic there, even though the two studios obviously aren't one-to-one, right?
Yeah, I agree. I think we've kind of already said, right, these business decisions don't get made in days, and so I don't think there's this much of like tit for tat, like we've got Destiny, so now you need to go to Call of Duty. I don't think that really comes into it. Whether or not longer term this makes any difference, I don't know. I don't think so. Also, Destiny is just not the leverage that you would need to make this happen for a Call of Duty. You would need like a FIFA or a Madden, or like Destiny's not in the same ballpark as Call of Duty, and so I don't think it's the right leverage to make it happen. I actually don't think that leverage exists.
No, I agree.
No. Well, whatever leverage would exist, I think Activision owns it.
Probably, yeah, sure.
Next up, Sarah Squid. Not really with a question, it was more a statement that was made, and I wanted to give Crash his dues here, which is Sarah wanted to give Crash his dues, and I wanted to insert it into the podcast, which is
respect it.
Just wanted to say Crash was 100% right about everything he said about Xbox's previous CEO. His name was Don Madrick. He started a company called Distinctive Software Inc., which eventually got bought by EA at EA, Don eventually became the president of Worldwide Studios for EA, where he oversaw the development of multiple games and practices. After he retired from EA, he went to Microsoft. At Microsoft, he worked as vice president for the 360 division and is credited for leading the development of the Kinect and ongoing Xbox Live services that was updated in the Xbox 360 era. Fortune magazine named Don as the smartest person in tech in 2011, and in 2013 he unveiled the Xbox One and was in charge of the marketing, its quote always online end quote connectivity, and the TV initiative. This failed, and he was later replaced by a young man named Phil Spencer. After Microsoft, he went on to work at Zynga, as CEO, where he continued to crash and burn, and was very quickly replaced just 2 years later. He is now retired and laughing on piles of money. But thank you, Kresh, the only true Xbox podcaster who knows the history of the console, unlike certain other self-proclaimed Xbox co-hosts. With the arrows and underlines and underscores with like the emote like this, like
it's like a shrug.
Yeah, it's like a I don't know. Yeah.
Can I be honest? I love the phrase getting rid of Sarah. It's not partly wrong. That is partly what I was thinking of, but I got two people intertwined and combined them into one person.
You did?
Yeah, because I got Don Matrick mixed up with Phil Harrison.
Yeah, you did.
Yeah. So
and I think we knew that, didn't we?
Take that
we did know it, but Sarah
did we reach that conclusion?
No, we didn't reach that conclusion. No, but
okay.
Sarah has absolutely smoked us because technically everything Chris was saying, other than the man's name, was correct. He got the wrong man, but she still made it out that he was right.
I'm thankful for that.
Also, I mean, look, I'm not out here saying Sarah's wrong about any of this, but she didn't credit any of her information. She didn't supply any sources.
Wait. In the post, she includes a picture. I'm pretty sure that makes it valid.
Oh, fair enough. I take it back. Sorry, Sarah. Don't come after me next week. Sorry.
You're in trouble, mate. She's gonna go through your. She's got you. You're done. You're done out here.
She's gonna get a 2-for-1 with you guys. You guys are both gonna wind up dead. I'm
Wait,
gonna be doing
why am I dying? What did I do? Oh, jeez. Sarah, thank you very much. You made me giggle when I read that in the Discord, so thank you. Original Cookie Man has this to say: my favorite thing about Game Pass is the strength in its depth. Most related genres are grouped together and described within their app menu, i.e. family, indies, family titles, classic, shooters, sports, action, etc., etc., and have pages and pages of different games on offer. However, one category that sticks out there are far few titles in fighting and brawlers. Is this a sign of the reduced popularity of one of the long-time favorites, or is it a sign that Microsoft is about to heavily bolster this category up with titles like Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles, Shredder's Revenge, King of Fighters, and Multiverses? Really hope the latter. Question for my Xbox and me. Kresh, you're our fighting expert here, bud. What is the answer?
Fighting games are a very niche genre, so I do not think it's the latter. I just don't think that there's a lot of games on the market. Multiverse is going to be free to play. I could see King of Fighters ending up on it. The Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtle ones, I'd be surprised if it didn't end up on it at some point. But when you're looking at fighting games, a good amount of the fighting games, especially the ones that get hyped up by people, tend to be PlayStation exclusive, and that is an area that Xbox in general really lacks in. That's why they should bring back Killer Instinct, and then you can get rid of that whole section because there's only one game people need to play.
Wow.
Kresh was the unbiased thoughts there. Thank you, Kresh. Kresh off the sideline. Thank you very much, Kresh.
No, but I don't think it's a problem. Like, I don't think they're trying to bolster it up. I think the problem is if you go into the category for fighting games, they include a game like Yakuza 6, which is not a fighting game. There is fighting in it, but it's not the typical fighting game you'd consider, right?
100%.
Yeah. It's an interesting one, right? Because, like, I think Original Cookie Man says it. It's like games will kind of born through fighting games, like Street Fighter and Mortal Kombat, and like these arcade cabinets that have existed forever. Like, and it's interesting that there hasn't been a massive amount of innovation in that genre, like there has been with shooters and battle royales and like these things that keep iterating on themselves and really changing with the times. Fighting games have remained pretty solid. I'd say Smash Brothers could be considered an innovation within that genre, but nothing else has really tried to push the boat out. What's wrong, Crash?
Smash Brothers came out years ago.
Yeah.
But how long ago was
that?
But
years after Street Fighter and stuff were arcade cabinets. There's
sure,
still an innovation within that genre.
Make the argument of Marvel vs. Capcom making the innovation with 3v3s. Or you could talk about third persons with Soul Calibur. Like, I get what you're saying, but I don't think you look at Smash and you say that's an innovation, especially when not a lot of games, until more recently it's become a thing, really copied that formula.
I disagree. I think just like, like Soul Calibur, Marvel vs. Capcom, I agree that those mechanics are innovative, but you're still essentially one-on-one fighting with a health bar, whereas Smash like really did away with that. No health bar. It's about knocking your opponent off the stage. It's like really changing up that formula. Like,
once you get to a certain percentage, there's
Smash has a health bar,
no matter what.
Smash does not have a health bar.
It is the percentage.
Definitely does. The percentages is definitely a health bar. For all intents and purposes,
you could argue that it's a different type of health bar that shows how likely you are to be killed by moves. But once you hit a certain percentage, there's people that know, like, all I have to do is hit this one move and that person's out.
Yeah, but it is.
If you're gonna make
Matt, certainly more so
at that point.
I agree with you, Matt. That Smash is definitely innovated in fighting games, in my opinion. But I'm just not with you on the health bar thing. Like, Smash has a health bar. It's a different health bar, but it has a health bar. 100%.
I think in competitive Smash, you are correct because of the stages that are picked for competitive Smash. But some of the stages are specifically designed to have places in them, like Hyrule Castle. If you get in that underground bit, doesn't matter what percentage you're on, you can bounce around that bit for fucking ever.
You could do the same thing in Soul Calibur.
Can you?
Yeah.
I'm not a big Soul Calibur guy, so I might be wrong.
You picked a fight with Crash. You should not have done that on fighting games, Matt. You lose instantly. Crash is the fighting game guy.
I understand what Matt's saying. The problem is that if you go to the fighting game community,
they'll find an example.
There's a divide. No, there's a general divide on whether, for the longest time, I don't think it's there as much nowadays, but there was a divide on whether you'd consider Smash even a fighting game.
A fighting game, yeah.
Totally. And I totally see that point. And the fact that Nintendo is so reluctant to support the competitive scene in Smash, I think is fucking crazy.
Wild.
Absolute madness. And the fact that like Melee is still heavily played in competitive against Nintendo's wishes, and Nintendo constantly trying to shut down like Melee competition and stuff. Absolutely wild. And yeah, I can see the argument to say that it's its own thing. It's a brawler, and that's not a fighting game. Whatever you want to say. But yeah, I would love to see more fighting games, and I would love to see Xbox's attempt at a Smash now. Give me Master Chief. Give me Killer Instinct characters. Give me Crash and Spyro and Tony Hawk.
They just did a brawler, right? Technically, with what's the game you liked, Crash? That I didn't like. The frogs that you enjoy. What are their names?
Battletoads.
Battletoads. Technically,
this is where I'm saying, like, that's a brawler, but I would never classify that as a fighting game.
No, it's not a fighting game. It's a brawler.
Yeah, no. It's a beat 'em up. Beat 'em up.
Is the category?
Oh, wait, stop. Wait. What? What's the difference?
A beat 'em up is one where you're playing co-op in that type of game. It's like River City Girls and games like that. It's like old school
Streets of Rage.
I was about to say, if you don't say Streets of Rage, I'm coming over to New York and slapping you right now. All right?
Yeah, it's those type of games.
But is Original Cookie Man right here in that there's a category within Game Pass called Fighters and Brawlers?
On PC, it's just fighters. I'm not sure on Xbox.
Interesting.
I didn't have the opportunity to check on my Xbox.
Terrible at this job. Check.
Either way, it's a light category. I'd love to see more stuff go in there. Why not? And I do think we have more brawlers typically in a year than fighters, like traditional fighters, right?
Oh, absolutely.
And
that's why the category is full of games like Yakuza as well.
Sure,
because there's stuff that you could argue is like, there's fighting at the center.
Anything.
Yeah.
Look, we're not playing the action adventure rules here, you know. Every game's an action adventure. Jesus. Let's jump into what's been in our box, boys. What have you been playing, Crash?
This past week, have played nothing.
Oh, it's gonna be a short section.
Look, there was. I checked Game Pass several times to see like new games that I want to play on Game Pass because I've been trying to do that. I want to stay on top of what comes into Game Pass. Nothing came out from Game Pass as far as I saw. Yeah. I re-downloaded Death's Door because I was like, I might give that another try. I never got around to it.
Do you try Death's Door and couldn't get into it?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan when
really?
I tried it. I talked about it on the podcast. Oh, it might have been one of the weeks that you weren't here.
Oh, maybe. Maybe I was on holiday.
I was here, Crash. I was here. Never missed a week in
Thank you.
So many weeks. Can't remember how many now, but I've never missed one.
It's coming, ladies and gentlemen.
341 weeks.
The Matt P. Crash special, No MC Fixer special is coming.
It's not, though.
It's imminent.
It's not, though.
It's imminent.
It's not, though.
One day.
I thought about it, and I was like, even with America, I think I might just bring Away Free with me and do the podcast from Texas.
He's going to ruin our whole thing, Matt.
I can't.
Throwing him and everything.
Good luck.
How rural Texas are you going?
Dallas?
Oh.
Okay, you'll be fine.
You'll be fine.
Dallas.
Fuck.
Yeah.
Although, isn't Dallas like on its own the site? No, maybe that's not true.
I don't know.
Look,
I don't know.
To be 100% honest, I can't talk on Texas because it'd probably be wrong. I don't know anything about Texas.
I might not, but I definitely feel like I will.
You know what, Vix? I think you should relax on holiday.
I do too.
You leave it in our very capable hands.
I don't
what could possibly go wrong?
How is a baby bird supposed to learn how to fly if you don't kick it out the nest, Fix?
Exactly.
I asked you guys to fucking just do the intro on a Let's Play, and you both go, no, you do it. It's fine. It's fine. Don't be telling me about no baby bird flying, all right?
It feels dirty when you're here.
It's not the same energy at all. There's no hello,
To be fair, I would even say when you're in America, do a little selfie video of you going, "Hello, welcome to My Xbox and Me," and then we'll just carry it on from there. You can keep doing the intro, and then you can still claim that you've been on every week.
I don't like the word when you say claim. I don't like how you say claim. I wouldn't be claiming. That would be factual. I wouldn't be claiming.
Yeah, but you claim stuff that's factual. No.
I just don't like I don't like the implication
you don't
of
like
the
word
word claim.
That you're not, but you would be on it.
I just don't like the word claim.
I get you. So I get you.
Claim.
Matt, cut the word claim out your vocabulary. We're not doing things like this anymore.
Yes, boss. Yes, boss.
Chris has played nothing. I've been playing a game called Dying Light 2. And if you want to hear my thoughts on it, you can head over to youtube.com/myxboxandme because we cannot talk about it yet. So if you want to hear our review, it will be out very, very soon. Myself and some wonderful people will be talking about it. I wonder who those wonderful people will be. Matt P, what have you been playing?
I've been playing Dying Light 2, and I can't talk about it here, but if you want to hear my thoughts on it, you should head to youtube.com. My brain broke a little bit there. You should head to youtube.com/myxboxandme and subscribe.
Okay. Cool. This week's dashboard. Big news dropped last week, just as we went off the air, actually, which was very annoying. Certain Affinity is working on a Monster Hunter-like Xbox exclusive, codenamed, Surrent.
God knows.
Surrent.
Surretti?
Shredder?
Sort.
Okay.
No.
In addition to the additional internal games, Microsoft is working on a wide range of third-party titles like Project Dragon from IO Interactive, As Dusk Falls from Interior Night, and Contraband from Avalanche. Thanks to last week's episode of Jeff Grubb's Grubsnack show, we now have unearthed yet another game. I can confirm via our own separate sources this game is indeed real, and that's not from us, that's from Windows Central, by the way, and is currently codenamed Project Surrent. I mean, cool. As long as it's better than Monster Hunter, I'm all for it. Like, I am I like Monster Hunter a lot, and I like the concept of what Monster Hunter is. But the problem with Monster Hunter is it's very Japanese. So it has certain things in the game, especially Monster Hunter Rise. No, not Rise. What's the one before Rise? World. That became a barrier to entry for me. Like, even the way the armor system worked was a bit like, I don't like this. So if you can give me like a more Western version, I don't know if Silent Infinity is Western, but a more Western version of a game like that, I'm all for it.
Well, I looked it up before. They're
American.
Essentially a support studio that have worked on almost every Halo and like a load of Call of Duties and like a lot of first-person shooters. Not many third-person games in there. Not many action adventures in there. Although you could claim, I'm sure you would, that Halo is an action adventure game.
100%.
100%. So yeah, like who knows what this will be or look like. But yeah, absolutely putting out their own game, their own IP that's Monster Hunter-esque. And I agree with you that whenever I've tried Monster Hunter, it is very
great game.
Obtuse. Yeah, but obtuse and complex in the way that it works, and that's part of its tradition, and its fans love that. It's not.
I was gonna say the thing about Monster Hunter is that it's been what it is so long, similar to how we're having a conversation about fighting games.
Yeah.
That it's lacked innovation in and of itself. Like, it's progressed and become better for people who like Monster Hunter, but I don't think as far as those mainline games, there's been like a great jumping on point for that. And I think this, like, something that gets you in easier and explains stuff to somebody who's completely new to the game could be really cool, and it could work really well.
Yeah, and you're going to hate me for this, but a Monster Hunter-like game that I very much did enjoy was a little game called Freedom Wars on PS Vita. One of the very few PS Vita exclusives. I really enjoyed that. And so I understand the enjoyment that can be had in a Monster Hunter-like game. And even that was quite obtuse in the way that it worked and was quite Japanese. Not that Japanese games are a bad thing.
No, not bad, but they're more complex than a Western game. I don't play many Japanese games. Why? Because there's usually folders of text, and usually the systems, even Final Fantasy 7 Remake, like the way the materia system works, isn't simplistic. Where they explain like this, boom, boom, bam, go. No, it's you discover that, and that's part of the game. I'm right in thinking that, right, Chris?
I don't know. I'm not the person to answer that because I played the original Final Fantasy 7, and it's like the same system there.
Whatever. You suck.
I started Final Fantasy 7 Remake. I didn't get it.
I don't want to hear about anything you saying that.
Good. So good. Shout out to Final Fantasy, by the way. The 25th anniversary.
Yeah.
Wouldn't it be good if they announced it was coming to Xbox or something on that anniversary?
For sure what they're doing, right?
They didn't. So...
Well, they said that they're going to have news coming out soon about part 2.
And
obviously when the part 2 news drops, it's going to be like, oh, by the way, part 1, Xbox tomorrow on Game Pass. Matt can give Fix a pizza.
We will see.
Give me a pizza.
We will see.
This is kind of my last chance, if we're being honest. Next up, Microsoft to cancel inactive Xbox Game Pass subscriptions following UK investigation. Don't clap them. Don't clap them. This wasn't through their choice. Don't clap them. Don't clap them, Matt P.
I thought I read a thing that would warrant a clap, but carry on for now.
Go on. No, you might be right. What was you clapping? Go on, talk to me.
I thought this story, I might be wrong now, and Sarah Squid's going to come after me. I thought this story was that, yes, the UK have implemented some sort of law that says, hey, if you have inactive users in your subscription service, you need to notify them and potentially cancel or ask them if they want to cancel. And Microsoft were like, hey, good idea, UK government. We're just going to do that globally. I might be wrong. I might be chatting out my ass. I might be wrong.
Maybe you're right.
Let's find out together and actually read the story.
Well, no,
the way I've read the story is how Fix is saying.
Yeah.
But I haven't read every article about it.
I'm sorry, Sarah. Don't come after me. Sorry.
Well, okay, what you need to know on Windows Central, Microsoft's making changes to its Game Pass subscription service in the UK in direct response to a 2019 Competition and Marketing Authority (CMA) investigation. The changes will apply to Xbox Game Pass and Xbox Live Gold subscriptions in the region. Aim to improve transparency and auto renewal for its service. Microsoft will offer a pro rata refund under the new policy, with Microsoft automatically cancelling subscriptions for some inactive users. So the way I've read this is that this is a UK-based thing, not a
I'm
worldwide based thing.
I made it up. I swear I read it somewhere, but I must have made it up.
Yeah, maybe I'm wrong, but yeah, the way I read this was very much, it was very much this is a UK based thing.
We said it at the start. It's been a long week. It's only Tuesday.
It's okay. Sarah won't confuse. All right.
I'm a confused little boy.
It's okay.
Look,
don't worry. This is good news anyway.
We've all made mistakes like that, Matt. It's not on you, but Sarah will remind you in the future when you get something wrong. You talk back to her.
That's fair.
If Sarah was a content creator, I'd 100% get her on the podcast. 100%. Because I think she would just banter with us the most. Like, she's one of the, I'm not saying I don't like the rest of you, because I do. I love you all. But when Sarah emails in, there's that extra bit of sauce on it. And you're
there's
like,
personality to it.
Yeah. It's the way it's worded and stuff. There's you can read the tone in the email, you know?
I feel really like it's rubbing off on the rest of the Discord. I'm seeing a lot of saucy shit in the Discord lately.
There's a lot.
Come on.
Next piece of news. Well, I guess opinions. I don't really have an opinion. This should be a thing worldwide. Companies should not be able to be predatory, predatorial on auto renewals the way they are. If you notice that someone isn't using the service that they're paying for across everything, you should cancel it. But that isn't the way capitalism works, and that isn't the way the world is built, unfortunately.
I was very surprised. My girlfriend noticed the other week that she was paying for Spotify, but we have a family Spotify plan that my dad pays for and we pay into. And so I was like, why are you paying for Spotify at your own bank? And she was like, oh, it's just been running for like 6 months and I didn't realize. She contacted Spotify and they gave her all their money back.
Well, okay, let's see if Microsoft do that. I've got 4 years of Game Pass. I've got 4 years of Game Pass on my account. I noticed on my business account, $10.99's been coming out for the whole year. Now, I don't know what account this is on. Is it on Haley's account? Is it on my account? Is it on my Oh, it might be on my sister's Xbox.
Here's the thing. If she's been using it, then they ain't gonna give you that money back.
Yeah.
She just plays The Sims, which is part of Game Pass. Fudge!
You've been paying $10.99 for your sister to play Sims like a mug.
I hate her so much.
That was a long pause, but I appreciate that.
Next piece of news: MLB The Show to launch on Xbox Game Pass in April 2022. I remember last year when this was like a huge story. This year, not so much, but Xbox is likely to announce that MLB The Show will be available with Xbox Game Pass on day one, with the game being available April 5th on Xbox Series X, Xbox Series X, Xbox One, and Cloud Gaming Beta. Both MLB The Show 22, Xbox One and Series X standard editions will be in Game Pass, so members will be able to play the previous versions of the games regardless of which console you are on. Yeah, it's not as big a news. Like when it was a PlayStation first party studio putting a game on Xbox in Game Pass, that was huge the first year. Yeah. This year it's more like, kind of expected this. I feel like this was, Yeah.
This is still made by Sony Studios, yeah?
Yep.
I think one thing to note that doesn't really dictate anything for the future, but this is fully cross-progression and cross-platform as well. Not that might dictate what Sony does as far as like Destiny or anything like that. Because that could just be the MLB
I think it's the MLB license. I think it's I said this last year, I'll say it again. Baseball is a sport that is dying. It is dying a very painful death. It isn't big anywhere other than huge anywhere other than the US. And I think
Japan.
And Japan.
Baseball's big in Japan.
No, I've got the front cover athlete is, I don't actually know where he's from. Asian. I don't know where though. So that'd be good to know. But yeah, this is it's not as big a news, but
he plays in America at least. I don't know.
No, I know he plays in America, but I don't know where he's
got
from,
it.
I have to say. But yeah, good on Sony, good on Xbox, good on everyone that enjoys baseball. I guess play it on Game Pass. Forward. Next up, Sea of Thieves sets out its next year's updates, including an in-game murder mystery. Ooh. Sea of Thieves is one of those games that I really wish I loved. You know, like, there's enough content there, or like that comes out frequently enough that I just wish I loved it.
I get that.
I don't. I
get that.
Yeah,
I enjoy it when I play it, but not enough.
Yeah, I was gonna say I like it whenever we go back in. I have a good time, but it's never enough where it's like, oh, we're not doing anything for the podcast, we're not recording anything or nothing like that. It's not something that I'm like, oh, we should go play Sea of Thieves, right?
Exactly.
A part of the problem is there's just too many good games out.
Yeah,
we got too much to play.
100%.
There's too many options.
So
if I was 12 and had no responsibilities, be all over fucking Sea of Thieves.
100%. So in 2022, you've got Season 6, which launched in March 2022, which has Sea Thoughts and Pirate Legend content, 3 new adventures, Mystery Begins, a monthly Emporium content, new Plunder Pass, and Community Day. Season 7, which will launch in June 22nd, new ways to play and progress, 3 new adventures, ongoing mysteries, monthly Emporium content, new Plunder Pass, Community Day. You're getting the point here, right? Season 8 will launch in September 2022, and Season 9 will launch December 2022. Just a lot of ongoing content coming in Sea of Thieves, which is a good thing. Very happy. Very happy for Sea of Thieves. Glad to see it is still doing really well.
I wonder what the concurrent numbers are like.
Big.
Anecdotally, I don't know anybody who plays Sea of Thieves. And I know a lot of gamers.
I don't either.
What are the numbers like on Twitch right now? Who's watching Sea of Thieves?
That don't matter.
Is it not?
Yeah, a game like Sea of Thieves, I think at this point is going to be dead on Twitch regardless of who plays it.
I'm trying
10k viewers on.
I wish
10k viewers right now on Twitch.
Oh, okay, so 14 minutes ago on Steam, that's a paid service, not through Game Pass or anything like that. On Steam, 14 minutes ago, it had 21,474 players.
That's a healthy amount of players.
Yeah, and you've got to imagine that it's a similar number on Xbox, maybe?
If not more.
Xbox and PC?
Yeah,
through Xbox.
No, I'd imagine because you do have Game Pass. The people who only have it through Game Pass on both platforms, and then the people who buy it on Xbox, obviously.
Good on you, Sea of Thieves. Bring out Sea of Thieves 2. Maybe then you'll get me in. You know,
it won't though because it's an ongoing service game. That no, just jump in and play if you want, and don't if you don't. You know,
I don't.
Simple as that. Well, then don't. Microsoft's Ed Boon to be inducted into the AIAS Hall of Fame. Ed Boon, the co-creator of Mortal Kombat and Injustice, will be inducted into the Academy of Interactive Arts and Science Hall of Fame this year as part of the 25th Annual DICE Awards. Boon will join Bethesda's Todd Howard and Nintendo's Jesus Christ, I hate names. Shigeru Miyamoto. Say it, Crash.
Shigeru Miyamoto.
Yeah, I knew the Miyamoto part, but I was butchering it. Terrible. Valve's Gabe Newell and Xbox's Bonnie Ross and other industry legends in development. You know what's annoying? When you know names and you panic, so you start saying it wrong. It upsets me.
I get that.
It upsets me dearly. I want you to know that.
And even though you know it, you now
I just can't then say it right, and it's just like
100%.
Fudge. But
I get that.
I've got to be honest with you. This is me as a host. You're never gonna get me to change. I did this on Jinx as well. I said a word wrong, and they were like, "You said that word wrong," and I went, "Yeah, we're going with it." And they were like, "No, do a pickup," and they were like, "I was like, no, you're not getting this. Like, this is me. If someone's gonna go on Twitter and be like, 'You said the word wrong,' I'll go, 'Yes, sir. I did say the words wrong. Congratulations. Do you feel better about yourself now?'" Anyway, moving on. Congratulations to Ed Boon. Yeah. Next up, Ubisoft exec says gamers don't get it when it comes to NFT. NFTs.
I feel like we need a little jingle for the NFT
NFT.
corner.
During the interview with Finder, Ubisoft Strategy Innovations Labs Vice President Nicholas Pollard said that gamers simply don't understand the benefits of NFTs. Quote, I think gamers don't get why a digital secondary market can bring to them, he said. For now, because the current situation of the context of NFT gamers really believe it's first destroying the planet, and second, just a tool for speculation. But Matt, I'm going to slap you up because I see that highlights. But what we at Ubisoft are seeing first is the end game. The end game is about giving players the opportunity to resell their items once they're finished with them or finish playing the game itself.
I don't think anybody gets NFTs. And I think that's part of the issue.
I get it.
You wanted money off us to buy a Capcom NFT the other week.
Fix hears NFTs, and he literally sees dollar signs all around him.
It's mind-blowing, isn't it? Yeah. I don't think anybody understands NFTs quite yet, what the potential of them can be.
This is such a bad... Can we agree this is a bad statement to make?
100%.
This is a horrible statement.
Great statement. What are you talking about?
Like, people are down on NFTs. People are like, oh, people are going to be greedy. NFTs are horrible for the environment. All this stuff. And then Ubisoft comes through and they're like, we are the bad guys. You guys are just stupid because you guys don't get NFTs. That's very much so the energy that comes off of this. And the thing is, like, to a degree, I agree. It's like people don't understand NFTs. And part of that is because NFTs haven't set in stone what they are themselves. Yeah. So you can't really dictate what something's going to be. And also, like, nobody wants Ubisoft to be the first people to do NFTs. Nobody trusts Ubisoft. And this statement just makes it seem like, even if Ubisoft does NFTs, they're going to do it horribly. Like, no doubt in my mind about it.
Yeah. It's a weird one, isn't it? Did you see all the Troy Baker stuff kick off as well? We haven't talked about that on the podcast.
We didn't even touch that on the podcast.
I know.
It was just, it wasn't in our wheelhouse, to be honest with you. So,
he was tangentially video game related, I guess. It would have been difficult, but he's backed out of that now. And I think that's part of the conversation of like, it was an interesting concept. And this is the way I think about most NFTs, to be honest with you. Interesting concept doesn't need to be an NFT. Like, you can just have a marketplace in your game like Diablo has. Doesn't need to be an NFT. Doesn't need to be on the blockchain. Doesn't need to be that secure.
You're using a game that went terribly wrong.
All right, it's not a great example, but yeah, okay, not a great example. But like the voice acting thing that Troy Baker was trying to do, where he was essentially going to go into a voiceover booth, say a bunch of words, so you could have Troy Baker in your game because it would just mix all those words together and make your script happen. Cool idea. Doesn't need to be an NFT. Doesn't need to involve the blockchain. Doesn't need to kill the planet. Yeah,
but
it's messy.
Yeah,
you know what else is messy? I don't want to be this guy. I'm gonna play devil's advocate. Don't want to be this guy. Matt, you eat meat?
I do.
Chris, you eat meat?
No, I don't.
You fucking lying piece of shit. You eat meat, stop lying. Is that not bad for the environment? See the computer that you've got on right now? That bad for the environment?
Yes.
See me streaming for 10 hours. No, I'm not finished. See me streaming for 10 hours a day. Bad for the environment.
Sure.
We still do these things. We don't care. We don't care. So don't act like now you care about the fucking environment. I understand what you're all saying. And listen, I get it. I understand. But let's not pretend to care all of a sudden because it's NFTs. It's something that we're able to, and I'm playing devil's advocate. It's something that we're able to pretend we care about. Half of us don't give a crap. Stop pretending to care. It's because you don't understand it. I don't understand it either. I don't understand it. I know there's money around. I know people are getting very rich and people are making lots of money. And do I want a part of that? Yes. Will my conscience let me? No. And it hurts.
You said it a few weeks ago where you said at the moment, a lot of NFTs are trying to scam somebody before 100%. You get scammed.
But
you're trying to resell before they sell.
But I don't think that's what Ubisoft are doing. I generally don't. I don't believe that that's what they're doing. I generally do think the idea of I have a skin. Hey, I'm playing devil's advocate, Crash. I see your face changing. Chill. But the idea of I have a skin, and I no longer care about this skin, so I can sell this skin to Crash or Matt or whoever. It's a good thing.
But to Matt's argument, like that doesn't need to be an NFT.
Yeah, I know.
CS:GO does that. Doesn't need to be an NFT. The only reason you would make it an NFT is because
they
you
want
their
bit.
Part of the profit.
Yeah, of course. But that's not. There's not a problem with that for me.
But even that doesn't need to be an NFT. Get it like taking a bit of the profit.
Gonna play devil's advocate to your devil's advocate fix.
Okay.
I love it.
There is a problem with that.
Why?
Because it's corporations making money off of work that they didn't do.
They
because nobody who actually did the work for it is going to get paid off of that.
So the corporation is making. We've had this conversation. We're not doing it again. We've done this conversation. Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right.
There's also a thing here, right? Like I think in everybody's mind, this is going to magically make everybody rich. You're going to play the next Ubisoft game and get a super rare loot drop, and you're going to sell it, and all of a sudden,
I'm gonna buy
you've got £1,000 in the bank that you didn't have before, right?
1,000? Is that it?
All right, let's say 10,000.
10,000? Is that it?
How does this work then, Fixer? Right? We've gone back in time. Fixer's 14 years old in the world of NFTs. He's playing the next Assassin's Creed game.
No, that's unrealistic. I'm playing FIFA. If you're going to tell me the story, play it properly. FIFA.
Fine. You're playing FIFA. It doesn't
Ultimate
work
Team
as well
founder.
with FIFA.
Did you know that? Ultimate Team founder.
It doesn't work with FIFA, and I'll explain why in a second. You're playing Assassin's Creed.
Gears of War.
Fine. Okay, you're playing Gears of War.
A made-up game.
14-year-old.
You're playing
Gears of War.
You're playing Gears of Halo, right? You kill. Crash said make up a game. You kill.
Yeah. Okay.
You kill the big bad boss at the end.
Yeah.
Right. And all this lovely loot pops out of his skull. It looks incredible.
Yeah, it looks amazing.
In amongst that is the loot, the NFT, the big boy that everybody's after. It's worth £10,000.
Wow.
Right?
I've only ever had £100 in my bank at 14, so wow.
Actually, let's, for argument's sake, say it's worth £20,000 because it makes my argument a little bit easier.
Even bigger. Okay.
That is now a taxable event by the UK government. You've just made £20,000, but you're 14 years old, right?
Well,
and go on, Crash.
Games would make you you'd have to do the terms of service for that, and you'd have to agree that you're 18 or over. And if you're breaking that, you'd be breaking the terms of contract, and you wouldn't even have the item anymore, and your whole account would be banned.
Sure. So you lose that. You lose 20 grand right there.
Yeah, because you
broke the law.
Terms of contract. You broke the contract that you agreed to. Yeah. It isn't yours because you aren't allowed to play it. You broke the rules.
Yeah, you broke the rules.
All NFT games have to be age gated in that way.
Yeah, but they would.
Sure.
That's what Chris is saying,
it's
right?
Age gated or signed up with when you approval and your parents
when you log in.
It.
Yeah, when you log in, there's a bit there that says parent and guardian, and if you fill it out or you don't fill it out, and then you get the £20,000 NFT. And then you're trying to sell that NFT, and they're like, well, actually, you're 14 and you didn't fill out the right paperwork. That's on you, dumb kid. You were dumb. That's what you get. Wait, actually, I'm the dumb kid in this situation. So
you're dumb.
I'm dumb. I'm a dumb kid. That's me. I'm done. Yeah.
Yeah, I suppose. Look, I mean, we've had this already with kids spending thousands of pounds on parents' apps. Parents don't understand that technology.
That's their problem.
But that's not on the game.
That's their problem.
That's not on the game. That is on the parent.
100%. Argue it. I dare you. I dare you to sit me on this podcast and argue that point that it's not.
How about this scenario? We'll go the other way.
Sure.
We have a 45-year-old Fixer. Little Fix is in the next door room, right?
Mm-hmm.
Playing on dad's account.
No,
because
what
obviously...
happened? No, you're wrong. Because I am someone who knows about systems, and because you're not an educated enough human being when it comes to this situation, and your kid fucks up, that is your fault. I'm sorry.
Little Fix is in the other room playing this game.
On my account, it wouldn't happen.
On your account.
It wouldn't happen.
And you know about it, and you're okay with it, because Little Fix just won you 20 grand.
It wouldn't happen. It wouldn't happen. That's the thing.
Also,
and so what would be the problem with that?
Grand.
You'd go back to
but you'd have to pay taxes on it.
Contract.
What contract?
Yeah. Look, it's just a very messy world, was my point.
Yeah,
and it's very difficult to introduce.
Also, there's a problem in that you're giving an innate value to the thing that's won. NFTs, like, unless the game could dictate that it's a $20,000 NFT,
but that doesn't mean that's what it's worth.
Would realistically work. Yeah,
I agree.
It's worth as much as the market says it is.
Yeah,
exactly.
So you would argue then that it's only taxable when I sell it.
Once you sell it,
Once you actually have a value to it, or maybe if they're like, okay, you can get it verified, like they do with trading cards and stuff like that. But I don't think it would work like that. I don't even think you get taxed for trading cards if you go and like verify like what grade a Pokemon card is. Do you?
No,
you don't. No.
Yeah,
you don't.
So I don't think even with an NFT, until you sell it, you wouldn't get taxed. Which is like, I can't afford the 20,000. You'd be able to when you sell the $20,000 NFT.
Yeah.
You want to pay the tax on it?
Yeah.
I'm sure. I don't want to do taxes in my video games, though. Don't make me do taxes.
You don't have to. Throw it away. Don't sell it. Don't sell it.
Ignore the NFTs.
Yeah.
You want to know what you do? You make some good, clean money. You start up a strain, deleting all my expensive NFTs, and you get people to pay you and just delete NFTs.
I was being hyperbolic and it was mental, but
I love it.
Yeah, it's a dangerous, sticky, iffy place, and people don't get what NFTs are. But I don't think this guy from Ubisoft gets it either fully, because I don't think anybody fully gets it.
No, what he sees is like it's a way for people to make money, and he's viewing it probably from a very business-minded like. I want to make some easy money. They can make some easy money. Let's make each other money, but not like in a realistic sense, right? Not even viewing it from the person, like the point of view to the other person who really wants that item. And now it's an NFT and it's exclusive and it's going to cost me upward of whatever the market price is, right? It's like, it's very detached from reality.
I love the idea. I like no cap, no bullshit, no, and I hate using no cap. I'm not young enough to use it, but
no cap,
no bullshit. I love the idea of digital items having real world value, and that value being something of the eye of the beholder. I love the concept of that. Nah, when it works, it will happen. When will it happen? I don't know. The thing I don't like is these NFT games I keep seeing on TikTok. I keep seeing NFT games and the new hype. I'm like, no. I don't care about that. I don't want that. I want whatever game I'm playing has a skin that drop. Borderlands is the perfect example. I've got a 0.01% chance of getting the Ultra NFT, but there's a bunch of other shitty NFTs out there that are worth 1p. You know? Like the Steam trading cards. I love it when I see Steam trading cards. They pop up, and every now and then I get one that's worth 10p. And I get so excited. Because I'm like, wow, this one's worth 10p.
There's a big difference with the trading cards, and that the trading cards aren't limited. NFTs are one per copy, or a limited run of them.
A limited run. But I like that because of events. Give me anything that gives me more of a reason. But Borderlands has a special event, and for 24 hours you have a chance of winning whatever. I like the idea of it. I'm not saying I like how it's going to be implemented yet, but I do like the idea of what I'm trying to say here, if I'm making any sense.
I agree with what you're saying in like the limited time aspect, but the problem is like most companies are going to abuse that.
100%.
Because for Ubisoft, like if Ubisoft does it, there's going to be an event every week.
That's the problem.
Yeah.
But then it is up to the market to decide.
Yeah.
People have decided Fortnite skins are worth attaining either through money or gameplay. To the point where Epic is rich. Like people have to decide that the Ubisoft NFT game is worthwhile, and that their NFTs are worthwhile, and that you know.
Incorrect. You don't know why? Because when their NFTs failed, because people didn't understand. People don't understand NFTs.
Dumb-dumbs didn't get it.
Yeah.
And but that is where, and we've talked about this before as well. You start getting this like slimy territory of Ubisoft releasing their NFT game and paying Ninja to play it and giving Ninja the big NFT to play in that game with, and that is, and I don't know, it's hard, right? Because like I would say that video games are inherently you're right. Like, you're right.
People get exclusive, like, oh, here's an exclusive skin because you're
they
part of this company or you're a content creator, whatever it is.
Yeah.
NBA 2K. I don't get the bog standard edition of NBA 2K. I get the 75th anniversary edition, which has a bunch of VC thrown in it. It's the same thing. Because what they're trying to do, I'm not just NBA, bunch of other games. Like, there's so many games out there. Like, I don't know, I don't know what game. There's so many. It gives you the special edition, which gives you the extra skins, or gives you the special guns, which are more powerful, which in turn could then say you have a better experience in the game. Like, it doesn't matter what the game. This already happens.
Yeah. The difference is,
it's down to me to go, I got the 75th version. It's down to me to go, I haven't put any money in. It's down to me the person, or the content creator, or the influencer, or whoever, to clarify those moments and be like, hey, this is the version, or the thing, or the what I got. You know?
Yep. The difference is it's not on the blockchain, and it's not... And it hasn't got the tag NFT, and it hasn't got the buzzwords attached to it.
Yeah.
But I think there's a possibility that NFTs, as far as gaming is concerned, escapes the blockchain, because it doesn't necessarily need to exist on the blockchain.
I agree. And then they're not NFTs. They're not called NFTs. You don't need to call these things NFTs.
I think they would still call them NFTs because of the attachment people have to the word. I think that's a point where the word outgrows what it actually means.
I don't disagree with you, but I think the reception amongst gamers is too negative. You're better off doing away with it.
I absolutely agree, but the industry loves its buzzwords. How many times were we hearing about teraflops forever?
It's a very good point. I just feel like
we still have teraflops, we just don't hear about them.
Yeah, but we're getting to a point, and I think that could happen as well, that you could have a game that we get to a point where NFT and blockchain is so negatively viewed that you end up playing a Ubisoft game that has a store and NFTs are never mentioned, but they are NFTs and they are on the blockchain.
It won't happen with a Ubisoft game, because people are going to be like going super hard on Ubisoft games for like the next 10-15 years.
Sure, okay. I agree.
But like,
I can imagine you playing a game.
You're right. NFT or something like that.
The Team 17 team just got absolutely destroyed for their NFT. I know a lot of people that work at Team 17. They're smaller publisher. They got destroyed for it, and I'm like, why are you destroying them for this?
Yeah, for Team 17 in particular, it actually wasn't most of the people at the company as well. It was the top.
Of course, it was
at the top. Yeah. And we have this discussion all the time where it's like they're attacking the wrong people and they're just making the situation seem worse. And you're kind of making the people who are doing the NFTs seem not as bad in comparison, right?
Well, they're not the ones getting the brunt of it.
Can you give me a bit more context? Well, because I missed this. What is the Team 17 NFT? What are they doing?
Do a Worms NFT. Oh, for goodness sake. Team 17 NFT.
Maybe it doesn't matter, but was it like the Capcom one where you're essentially buying a GIF or a JPEG?
I think it was in game. No,
that's what I thought it was. It was a unique piece of computer-generated art that will be sold by a Reality Gaming Group, which uses a sidechain of Ethereum. So it wasn't that big a deal to me.
It was a skin to use in game? Something to use in a game?
I don't think so. I think it was just a Worms environmentally friendly NFT.
Right, okay.
Picture again, I think. But yeah, most of the staff didn't even know about it, and then they got destroyed for it. But anyway, let's move on because we could keep going for too long again. We've done it way too long again. We've got 2 more stories. Hyperscape, Ubisoft Cyberpunk Battle Royale will be shut down on April 28th after less than 2 years out. Not surprised.
You know what the amazing thing is?
It lasted 2 years.
Ubisoft's trying to tell us that we don't understand something when they don't understand BRs and free-to-play games.
Very true.
Hey, and look, if this game had NFTs, and I don't want to drag us back there, but if this game had NFTs in it, and you'd invested a shitload of money, and now it was going away after 2 years, something to think about.
Well, no, but you wouldn't. Why? That's down to you.
Yeah, but that's my point, is that these NFTs aren't forever. Right?
No, he's saying that the NFTs can have an unexpected lifetime.
Yeah.
Fortnite could disappear tomorrow. Fortnite could literally turn Fortnite off tomorrow.
And stuff like that, yeah.
Yeah, but you're not making money off of Fortnite.
But you're losing. You're technically losing money because you're losing access to stuff you paid for.
Sure.
You're only seeing one side of the argument there. You're not seeing the full picture there if you're just saying sure.
Microtransactions are very similar to NFTs without as much exclusivity and the blockchain, right?
Yes.
We're not going back.
We're not going back. We're talking about Evil Dead, the game, delayed in May 2022. We're not going back, Crash. No.
But they delayed the Evil Dead game so they could put NFTs.
Let's plug and get ourselves out of it. I'm done.
Are you? No. I want to talk about Evil Dead game. Are you excited for Evil Dead game because you got into Dying Light? You like your horror survival stuff. Are you excited for the Evil Dead game?
For about a week, yeah. I think it'll be really fun for a week, and then
it has that kind of shit. It has like a cult audience. I'm just not sure how much of that cult audience transfer to gamers and 4v1, having enough of an audience for that.
4v1, a license to it. The game actually looks really pretty. It actually looks very fun to play. But at the end of the day, I still don't know. Like, I just think for a week I'll be like all about it, and then a week later I'll be like, yeah, I'm playing whatever else has come out after that in May. You know,
that's fair.
Yeah. The game's survivability, I feel like, will be based on if they can get into the Dead by Daylight market.
Oh,
yeah.
I've got a lot of friends in the Dead by Daylight community. Everyone hates the game. Everybody hates the game. Wow. They hate it. With a passion.
Any reason particularly?
I don't think.
Have they played it?
Crap.
Do you know?
Who played it? The Evil Dead.
People. Yeah.
No,
anybody played it?
They haven't played
Evil
Dead
or anything?
I don't think so.
Got it. Okay.
But I think they're all because they've just put out Prop Night you've had come out, and there's that other game that came out, which is the 4v1. I can't think of what it's called. Right? VHS as well.
Yeah.
And they're just waiting for something that is the next big one that they can all go to.
Really?
Oh,
What
is it that they don't like about Dying Light?
I don't know who the devs are, but again, a few of my friends are like pretty big streamers in that category.
Yeah.
Like, and the development team, I think it's like server issues for like top level players is really bad.
You're talking about
go on.
You're talking about Dying Light.
Yeah. No, Dead by Daylight. Yeah. And I
thought you were talking about Evil Dead.
No.
Okay,
what I'm saying is, Dead by Daylight is the streamers are not happy with where the game is at, and they're just waiting for something big to come along. And I don't know if the Evil Dead's gonna be that thing, but it has the potential to be.
But Dead by Daylight is like for horror movie fans, like it's got like a lot of tie-ins, right?
That's
like
you've
got loads of
that's
Resident Evil stuff and all sorts of stuff, right? Like
it's the licensing. That's what makes the game continue to live, because it brings in a new audience constantly, whether it's Stranger Things or etc, right? It keeps bringing in new audiences. So I think that community is just waiting for a game like The Evil Dead or someone else that can bring in the same sort of licenses and the game be good and fun and enjoyable for people. So Yeah, there's a lot going on there. But yeah, I am excited for the Evil Dead game. I'm actually upset that it's been delayed, but in the same breath, I wonder how long I'll actually play it for.
Yeah, it'll be interesting because, like you say, everybody in that Dead by Daylight community is gonna jump to this for a week, right? And then we will see. Then when the dust settles, you'll see where those Twitch viewers are. You'll see where that community goes.
Dead by Daylight,
maybe more than a week. Maybe it gets a month. Dead by Daylight's old at this point, so maybe it gets a bit longer than a week to do something. But maybe we don't know, speculation massively. But maybe this is part of the delay. Is like we need to launch well.
Yeah.
Because we need to take those players off Dead by Daylight and they need to stay. Yeah. And if there's any barrier to, I'm going to stream Evil Dead. Oh, the servers are down. I guess I'm going to play Dead by Daylight.
Yep. I think it also depends on what their internal plan is for the Evil Dead, whether it's supposed to be a live service game and a game that's continuing to grow, or it's like a one and done. We put this out there and people will play it while it does. We'll put out some microtransactions or whatever. But it won't be something that we're focused on long term, because that's always a possibility. If that's the case, then you don't necessarily care about whether you keep people from Dead by Daylight.
Yeah, maybe.
Last story. Warner Brothers reiterates the Hogwarts Legacy and Gotham Knight will arrive this year. Warner Brothers CEO Jason Schreier confirmed on Twitter both games will be released later this year as part of the company's plans. Quote, "If you want to know what motivates us as a team, it's the mission," end quote. He said alongside an image which states, quote, "to move the world through story," end quote. Open quote, this strategy will continue in 2022 with a sense of urgency, launching HBO Max in many more countries this quarter and the balance of the year, launching CNN Plus, delivering on a full scale of highly anticipated games. And number one, fuck J.K. Rowling.
Fuck J.K. Rowling.
Yep. Man, I'm looking forward to Hogwarts Legacy.
I know.
And still all this stuff has me mad conflicted. Still all this stuff has me mad frustrated. I'm probably going to end up playing it, just to be fully transparent. I don't know what I can do to combat J.K. Rowling making money from this, obviously. That's a frustration of mine. But yeah, just to speak on the game for a little bit, I'm so been watching Harry Potter's with Haley, and like the more I think about the game, the more I'm like, I really hope this does well when we get a multiplayer version of a Harry Potter game like this, which Crash knows what I've been like. Imagine a game with raids and you're a wizard and you're going off and doing. I can see it in my head already. So I'm like, please let this do well. Please let this be good. Number one, please let this be good. But yeah, I'm so excited. What about you guys?
I'm in a very similar boat. Similarly conflicted, similarly excited. I actually have a lot of faith that it will be a good game. I don't have a lot of faith that it will come out this year.
Why do you have faith that it'll be a good game, if you don't mind me asking?
Because WB have a pretty good track record with the first iteration of a licensed game.
Such as Batman?
And Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings is fantastic.
Okay. Yeah.
Toy Story?
Like, okay, they can go off the rails in the sequels to those games, sure.
Yeah, okay.
But like, and yeah, I don't know. I guess it's hope more than anything. But
I get what you're saying, but those are like, to credit WB as a whole is also to kind of discredit
Avalanche
the
are making
studios
this
that made
game.
those.
100%.
Oh, it is being made by Avalanche.
So you got to think that. So who made this game? Disney Infinity, Cars 3, 25 to Life, Taka and the Power Juju, Toy Story 3, Chicken Little, Disney's Infinity 2.0, Disney's Infinity 3.0, Cars 2, Bolt, Chicken Little.
Yeah.
No, don't get it twisted. I still think the game looks amazing from what we've seen so far, and I still think it's going to be good. But to say that you can guarantee it's going to be good,
I'm not. I didn't say guarantee. Never did guarantee come out of my mouth.
True. That's
I don't know.
true.
I actually don't know if Avalanche are doing the full heavy lifting on this, or if they support. So I believe they're doing it all though, if I'm not mistaken. Because Gotham Knights is done by WB Games Montreal. Yeah. So then they did. They done. What have they done work on?
They did Origins.
They did Origins. They did. City.
I think no.
They did support work on City.
Oh, support. Okay.
I think. Origins. Yeah. It's a.
Like, I have more faith in them having done Origins and made a Batman game.
Best Batman game ever made. So yeah, makes sense.
I am super not excited for Gotham Knights.
You just have bad opinions.
No, I'm with him. I'm with him on that. I
love the Batman games. As soon as they were like, enemies have levels and numbers are going to fly out of them when you punch them, I was like, I'm out. That is not what I want from my Batman.
That's also not the final product. Like, that was shown a while ago. We don't know what's going to change and what's going to be different.
Hey, if they change that,
I mean, you could turn that off. There's a possibility you could turn that off as well.
Yeah, I don't want levels and like, oh, I'm too low level for this area. No, just give me cool Batman shit.
But Batman's not in the game.
Well,
I was going to say, why are you asking for cool Batman stuff?
Batman's going to be in the game.
He's not. He's not going to be in the game. I will make a pizza bet that Batman will not be in that game as a playable character.
Oh, okay.
But you're saying do Batman shit, and you're saying Batman will be in the game.
But Batman shit is covered by Batgirl and Robin, and they can all do Batman shit as far as I'm concerned.
No.
They are the Bat family. Batman's shit is encompassed by the Bat family.
I don't think so. Fuck that stays together, shit's together.
And so I still constitute doing Batman shit as playing as Batgirl.
So
and shit.
Just because there's numbers means that Batman shit won't happen.
It looks. Ooh, I'm foggy all of a sudden. It looks like it doesn't look like Arkham game.
Well, it's not an Arkham game. It's a Gotham Knights game. It's called Gotham Knights. Sure. It's not called Arkham.
I think they made a very active choice in not making another Arkham game.
Yeah.
I think that was 100% like a decided choice. Like, Arkham Origins, people were very, very lukewarm on. I think over time, people liked it better. But when it came out, people weren't a big fan of it.
Yeah, I think that's fair. But that's why I'm not excited.
The game came out.
And it's the best Batman game ever made.
That's just not true. But that's why I'm not excited, because this isn't an Arkham game.
That's fair. When you say that, that's absolutely fair.
Cool. But do I want to take up your pizza bet of Batman being playable? That is the question.
Batman's not playable. Matt, that's a terrible bet. Batman's not going to be playable.
Shut up,
what they will do is this. They will do challenge mode. They've had that in most of the Arkham games, where it's like, hey, there's a room full of 60 people over here. Can you kill them all without getting hit? They will do stuff like that. Will Batman be a playable character in that? I could see happening.
Nope.
They did it in the last one with those challenge rooms. You could play as Robin or I think Batgirl.
Yeah, and are you gonna make the pizza bet? I'll take that pizza bet if that's what you want. The challenge rooms.
Save your money. Save your money. You're not right. You're so wrong.
It's very expensive to ship a pizza to the US.
I mean,
especially
you
at Domino's.
It has to be Domino's.
It'd almost be worth it just to get a Domino's.
I want it shipped over.
No.
You want to try UK Domino's? See if it's any better. No, I won't take the bet.
Okay. So it's a good thing you didn't, because the whole focus is on the rest of the Bat family, and there's quite a few characters that they could add for scenarios like that, and DLC characters that aren't those four. So,
sure, but they'd be mad to not be like, hey, you want to
Batman
pay for your Batmans? You can pay extra for your Batmans.
I don't think there's a shot they make you pay for Batmans. I don't think
there's a Batman NFT.
Batman, there'll be a Batman
End
NFT
in the show. Thank you all for watching this week. We appreciate you. Make sure you check us out everywhere. Let's plug and get ourselves out of here. Matt, what you got to plug this week? Anything?
The YouTube channel. Look, we're gonna try and do more like live streams, reacting to news content. We're gonna do live streams playing games like these two did. They played with the community. They played Rainbow Six Extraction. And we're gonna do more stuff like that. So if you like My Xbox and Me and you listen on the podcast services and you want more, then you can do it on the YouTubes. And you can just have YouTube on in the background and listen to it. That's totally fine. Just drop them thumbs up on it. Love ya.
Crash, what you got to plug?
So, to all my people in the Americas who didn't leave a podcast review on the iTunes page.
They're gone, mate. They're gone. They're not listening.
Go and leave an iTunes
Nobody's
review.
listening. Nobody's listening anymore.
Nobody's on it.
If they made it for the NFT talk, they're fucking Potato Squad in real life. They are big Potato Squad.
When we doing our Potato Squad NFTs, you know? No, we're not going to do that. We're not going to do that, guys.
Why are you giving him ideas? Look at Fix literally lit up so much when you said that.
Just a little potato character and like he's got sunglasses.
Oh,
he's got a wig. Oh,
he's got an Xbox
super rare.
Oh my god. I love
he's got a Duke.
Idea. Anybody who works in the NFT space, hit me up.
No, we're not going to do it, guys. We're not going to do it. I promise you.
You can't make that promise. I feel so bad for the people who just
What me
promised.
and Matt have to do is we have to write a nicely worded essay to Haley to talk you out of it.
Dear
let him go
Haley,
through with this.
please do not let him ruin the brand of My Xbox and Me for some potato emotes that we can all save and right click. I know. Yeah. You want American people to review the podcast, Crash?
Yes. Go review the podcast. I want to be reading a review next week.
Okay. What have I got to plug? I think Dying Light 2 review will be up relatively soon if you're listening to this. We'd appreciate it if you went and checked it out. I'm doing a bunch of stuff. Go check out 9 to 5, my song that is currently out. It's doing really well, which has been added to some big playlists. I've got a TV interview this week about it over on Jinx.
When's Head Popping out?
Head Pop. Not Head Popping, Head Pop.
I'm down with the kids.
Head popping out.
I'm
with the way Matt said it.
That's
better.
soon. Until next time, we will love you, leave you, and see you all later. Good boys.
Bye.
I had fun this week.